Good morning, guys. My name is Shawn and I welcome you to the Mango Grove and I welcome you to September. A happy September to all of you. A very special month. And hey, Bitcoin is doing something very special as well. We got the monthly close that we were looking for, guys. 29 days and 11 hours for the next monthly close. The last monthly close was beautiful as well. We got the close above 10,600. Start of the month with an immediate retest to 10,600, bouncing well, putting a nice little green candle. It could have been better, yes, but hey, this is good enough. Looks like Bitcoin does want to see continuation over here. Now, in today's video, I'm not going to spend too much time discussing Bitcoin. In fact, I'm not going to spend too much time discussing Chainlink either. Today's video is going to be a little bit of a wham bam thank you mango. It's going to be a quick video, and yeah, if you guys are interested in a higher time frame analysis on Bitcoin, please go ahead and check out yesterday's video. We talked about how Bitcoin may get to potential targets of 50,000, 200,000, 300,000. Hey, as high as you may want to dream, because we got a monthly candle close that does suggest parabolic runs yet again. It's going to take its time. Yes, could take 2-3 months before the trend starts going with momentum for that impulsive move on the monthly time frame, but it's looking good, guys. It's looking good. We talked about that in yesterday's video. We talked about the high time frames. We spent a lot of time talking about the monthly and the weekly, so I'll say it again. Go ahead and check out yesterday's video. Today's video is going to be just an update. All right, so we're looking for the monthly close, okay, and we got the monthly close, a really good monthly close. We were also looking at two particular time frames, and that was the 4-day time frame and the 2-day time frame. So let's go ahead and start with the 4-day time frame. And right over here, guys, you're gonna see that I have this level marked over here at around 10,700. So let's go ahead and mark out the 4-day time frame, which was the 4-day time frame level, which is around 12,000-ish, right? That's the level that we've been looking for Bitcoin to close above on the 4-day time frame. Yes, we've gone above it on the low time frames, the daily, the 12-hour, but we've not really closed the time frame that we were looking for above that level, right? That's when we get aggressive. But I do want to now point out how the 4-day time frame might be putting in something like a ascending triangle, right? And we can go ahead and be a little bit more aggressive than before now and adjust this horizontal lower. So we could do something like this, and you could get an earlier trade in and look for a candle close on the 4-day time frame at I'd say 11,888, and I do believe that lines up with certain levels on the 2-day time frame. We'll get to that in a bit. But if you want to be safe, right, and you're looking for the aggressive trade, the breakout trade on the high time frame, I'll just go ahead and mark out this entire zone over here between 11,888 to 12,000. So if we do get a candle close above both levels over here, 12,000 as well as 11,888, we can now use that to get a better trade entry on a retest at 11,888, right? So the fact that I have a position built all the way from around 9,555-ish, and then we were patient enough, didn't get baited in over here like a lot of other traders, we were patient enough to wait for the 4-day candle close. That allowed us to, hey, not get baited in over here, and in fact, buy the 4-day 10 SMA and build a position at around 11,000 to 11,150-ish, right? So I can now be a little bit more aggressive, and I will be taking a trade if we do break above the zone over here and get a retest to 11,888. I am willing to be a little bit patient. Why? Because we have a nice position already. I don't need to get too aggressive. And 2, I'm willing to add to my position over here because it is a safer trade and very easy for me to know, hey, you know what, this trade may not work out in my favor. I'm just going to get out of it. I have a lot of buffer. And think about it, guys. How much further down does this need to come before I am wrong on my trade? And even if it does come down further, well, I have a lot of trade profits to buffer me against any of that, right? And I've talked to you guys about this in the past. I'm always willing to give away profits for the bigger win, but I do not like giving away existing capital, right? So for example, at around 9,500, when I was building my position over here, I wouldn't be getting that aggressive. I wouldn't be willing to give away any profits because there's no profits, right? Because anything I give away would be me giving away capital. Now that being said, you do kind of have to You can't be too tight. You can't have too tight of a stop loss, etc., etc. You got to have your invalidation point, and you got to manage your risk. At the same time, you got to give room for your trade to breathe. Now, I wish I could get into all of that in today's video, but that is just such a longer conversation that we just don't have time to talk about. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about what we'd be looking for Bitcoin to do for upside moves or for downside moves, right? We already know one of the upside moves, something like this, right? A break about 12,000, 11,888, a retest around here would be a buy opportunity for me to add to my position, and then looking for targets towards the upside. Now, what targets would we be looking for? Well, I would actually be going back on over to the monthly time frame over here. Remember, we just closed a month. It's a brand new month. Happy September. And the target I'd be looking for, guys, is this level right over here. Okay, let's go ahead and mark it out. 13,941, right? Hey, what do you know? Our horizontal actually, our drawing tool is actually reached right over there just by complete fluke. Let's go ahead and delete this. So yeah, I'd be targeting this wick high over here, guys, as well as these candle closes. And you can see how the last parabolic run towards the upside actually tested these candle closes over here. This time, right? So you could essentially mark this out, okay, and that has essentially both these candle closes, okay, towards the downside, which was initially resistance, turned into support. 10,650 is our new support on the monthly time frame, and resistance towards the upside is 13,805. This has been proven with the upthrust that we had from the 3,000 region all the way to 14,000, right? We got resisted right over there, rejected, and closed where? At the 10,650 level, right? Ever since then, we've used these levels over here as resistance, right? Resistance over here too. And then over here, as soon as we finally closed a candle over here, the month of July, above 10,600, it flipped into support, right? So that's how you get your S and R flips, guys. When you get your monthly candle close, a nice close above the level, a nice convincing close, the market will then use that area as a value buy opportunity, all right? So that's your S and R flip right over there. A quick brief explanation for those of you who are still learning. And now I'd be looking for the mid between the range, because what have we established? We have established the top of the range, we've established the bottom of the range. We have this as 13,900, and we have this over here as 10,600, right? Okay, cool. So what do we look for next? Well, we can go ahead and look for the middle of the range. Just simply do this, right? Use the measuring tool, and what do you know? The middle of the range has already been tested at 12,200-ish, and now the question is, can we actually break above it, right? So now, this is the thing. I am expecting one of two things to happen, and depending on that, I'm going to be playing all coins accordingly. If Bitcoin starts seeing a lot of resistance around the 12,200-ish region, it would mean that we would be playing this really slowly, like the middle of the range over here. Oops, let me just go ahead and draw. Okay. What do we say? 12,150. Okay, cool. Something like that, right? We'll be playing this really slowly, and we'll be looking for monthly candle close above this region. Okay, we won't be looking for an aggressive move. We'll just be looking for monthly candle close over the entire course of this month to close over 12,200. If we do that, then we can look for a trade like this. Okay, that's if Bitcoin decides to take it slow and give all coins an opportunity to actually have their run. However, if Bitcoin wants to be aggressive, we'd be looking straight towards the top of the range over here, 14,000. So now is the time to be watching, paying attention, and accordingly placing your bets, guys. All right. If Bitcoin wants to be aggressive, we are going to see a big move towards 14,000. Now, for those of you who are trading altcoins on the USD pairing, or against the USD pairing, should I say, it doesn't really matter, right? Because your altcoin is going to go up too. For example, Chainlink on the USD pairing is likely going to go up as well if Bitcoin is going to go up. At the worst case, it's going to stay sideways, all right? But if your real priority is to collect Bitcoin, you really want to be paying attention to what Bitcoin wants to do over here, because Bitcoin is being aggressive. Going back on over to the 4-day. Okay, let me go ahead and I don't want to remove all drawings. So what I'll do is this here? Yeah, object tree. Cool. Let's remove all the brush drawings. Really like this new feature that TradingView has. Okay, cool. So look how well this lines up, guys. Okay, the 12,000 to 150 range, which we just marked as a monthly mid level, right, that we're living underneath, is lining up very close with our 4-day ascending triangle, right? Again, hypothesizing that Bitcoin may eventually do something like this. And what will that line up with? That will line up with a 4-day candle close, perhaps weekly candle close. If you get 2 4-day candle closes above the zone over here, it will line up with a weekly candle close, guys, above that monthly mid level. In that situation, guys, I will be looking for the move all the way up to 13,900, right? That is a monthly level, and over there it'll be wait and watch. What does Bitcoin want to do? Because if, going back to the monthly now, if we start taking out these highs over here, I would be looking for our next level all the way up to 20,000. Yes, you heard me right, 20,000. And that shouldn't surprise you too much, because in yesterday's video I talked about 50,000, I talked about 200,000, right? So and go ahead and watch yesterday's video, guys. Again, I'm going to say it, it's going to be beneficial for those of you who are long-term traders, those of you who don't want to be doing worrying too much about getting in, getting out, blah blah blah, not trading leverage. That kind of video is for you, right? You don't want to be doing too much, you don't want to be over trading, you want to be making few moves on the macro cycle. And Bitcoin, guys, Bitcoin is beginning to show some signs to reward the macro traders, or rather the higher time frame traders, or if you will, the hodlers, right? Okay, so that's Bitcoin on the 4-day. Let's go ahead now and look at the 2-day. If you guys do remember from yesterday's video, we're looking for something very, very specific, and we haven't done it just yet, but it's beginning to look good. Let me go ahead and turn on the mango ribbon, hide our horizontals over here, and hey, we are now living well above the 10 SMA. We haven't closed the candle just yet. 1 day, 11 hours. But we have taken out this high right over here. Remember, guys, we've been saying for the longest time, the 2-day 21 EMA, the 4-day 10 SMA have been buy opportunities, as long as you can read the market right, as long as you are doing it the mango way, as long as you're doing it the stress-free way. And right over here, we've taken out the high of this candle, the bounce of the 21 EMA, leading us to this high takeout over here. And the good candle close is if we candle close above 11,700-ish, right? Somewhere around here. If we candle close over here, above this wick high over here, and then come down to give a retest for the 10 SMA and bounce off that, then I'll be looking for us to retest 12,354. Now, to be honest, you could look at that as a buy opportunity, because if you do remember in yesterday's video, I talked about how, let me go ahead and just remove everything right now. Okay, yesterday's video, we talked about how you could simply be playing this as a range, right? So with that logic, if we are playing this as a range, the 10 SMA as our resistance yesterday, that has now not confirmed just yet, but potentially flipped into support if we close above this. Remember, 21 EMA was our previous support. Buy. Resistance against the 10 SMA, resistance, right? 3 times. Now the question is, if we close above the 10 SMA, well, what's that going to do? That's going to flip it into support. Remember, we talked about this similar concept just 2 minutes ago when we were referring to the monthly levels. The same thing applies over here. So you could be looking for a trade like this, and in that case, if you're looking for a range trade and not looking for a trend trade, I'd be looking for my next level at around 12,350-ish. Now, would I be looking for that trade? It's hard for me to say, guys, because I'm already in my position, and I'm not too keen on this one over here. Okay, I'm not too keen on this one over here. If I would be looking for a trade opportunity, I'd be looking to enter this one on a trend trade, right? Because the edge over here isn't, to be honest, it's not bad. 11,700 to 12,300. These numbers are becoming really, okay, Bitcoin's going to reach a zone very, very soon where almost any trade is going to be worth it in terms of the USD pairings, right? But in terms of the Bitcoin pairing, you kind of want to be careful. You want to be careful. All right. So with that being said, what else do I want to talk about? The monthly. We talked about the 4-day, we talked about the 2-day. Yesterday's video, we talked about the weekly as well. We can go ahead and quickly look at the 4-hour. This was supposed to be a short video, but so much for that. And again, I'm going to go ahead and remove everything. And in fact, let's go ahead and remove the mango ribbon too. And I do want to mention how we did take out this level right over here, which was really, really key. You could have marked it actually as a zone if you did want to. Have we taken that? Yeah, actually, we are resting right on it. Interesting. Yeah, this is perfect. So what would be the next level? Well, if we do want to bounce off this over here, it's kind of tight. It's kind of tight because one could literally adjust this, okay, to something like this right over here and say, hey, we're still living within the resistance, because anywhere between 12,000 to 11,900, guys, could be considered resistance. That's I'd be looking at it like this. Okay, how do I mark? Yeah, right over there. So I'd be looking at it like this, and again, that's just my bias. The easier trade is, of course, going to be on the high time frames. Just wait for the 4-day, The 2-day too would be a lot easier to play. This 4-day structure does look tempting though, right? If you did have to just draw a measured move, I'm not sure if Krisha would agree with me on this one, but let's be a little bit more conservative and do this. Okay, that lines up too perfectly. Right, so that's what, there you go. So I'm going to go with this. This lines up too perfectly at around 12,400. Hey, we may make that move sometime within the next couple of days, okay? And if the 4-day candle actually closes the way I'm looking for it to close, well, let's see how. Okay, let's just go ahead and draw this, okay, just for fun. Let's say we're looking at this as an ascending triangle. Where or when would this need to break for it to remain pretty valid? Let's go ahead and look at it as a daily, somewhere around here, I would say. So hey, perhaps within the next like week, I'd be looking for the 4-day candle to resolve itself. Hey, somewhere around here, right? Within the next like 7 to 8 days, let's say. So two 4-day candles, that does line up. All right, cool. So that's Bitcoin. We talked about the weekly, we talked about the monthly, we talked about the 4-day, we talked about the 2-day. This is supposed to be a quick video. I failed at miserably. Let's go ahead and talk about Link very, very quickly. Again, for Link, guys, I do suggest that you guys watch yesterday's video, and if you guys are looking for a more in-depth video, go ahead and watch the video from Friday, I do believe, where I started off with Link. Since Bitcoin, we had to be a little bit more patient with Bitcoin going to the monthly close. I talked about Link on the high time frames. We talked about the weekly, the daily, and the lower time frames too. We talked about all these levels. So go ahead and watch those videos. You'll learn a lot, because we talked about these levels right over here when Bitcoin was sitting over here, guys. Bitcoin was sitting at $14, and we talked about 3 levels. The major level at the top side being $18.20. We marked out this zone. We said specifically, I won't be looking at this. I'll be looking at this instead as resistance. What do you know? Bitcoin came, not Bitcoin, Chainlink. Chainlink came, closed above the mid resistance line that we talked about in that video, right? Lined up with a certain structure that we were looking at over here. Tested it and bounced straight into that level. We can go ahead and look at it on the lower time frame. So really quickly, let me just go ahead and remove all of these quickly first, the mess. So you're going to see how we're looking at this structure over here, right? The symmetrical triangle. We marked out this horizontal based on these candle closes over here. What does Chainlink do? It closes above the symmetrical triangle, retests the entire symmetrical triangle 1, 2, 3 times, giving us enough opportunity to add to a position or get into position. What does it do? Close above the horizontal too, retest that as well. This is why I love Link. It is so beautiful. It is so perfect. It gives us all the opportunity. It is very clear. It's one of the best charts in crypto. What does it do right after? It goes and tests the resistance, the zone that we were talking about, right? It perfectly. And in fact, I do think, yeah, if you see this over here, guys, it kind of closed slightly above it, right? And I think I'd adjusted this a little bit. So let me go ahead. I think it was somewhere around here. Let me go back to the daily really quickly. Yeah, I think this line is supposed to be here. Okay, yeah. Now let's go back on over to the 4-hour. Okay, yeah, so right there, this makes a lot more sense, because look at this. I want to talk about this specifically again. We talked about this in yesterday's video. We marked this on a daily time frame, right? We marked this horizontal on the daily time frame. It is very important to take your trade then only off the daily time frame. If you got baited into a trade over here because the 4-hour close, it means that you got hunted, you were baited into a trade, and you were trapped on the lower time frame, even though the resistance line was on the high time frame. And to be fair, as long as you took the trade knowing the risk, it was all well and good, right? Because we've been talking about how in the bull market, taking lower time frame closes on a high time frame level has been rewarding, as long as you get out of your position as soon as you are invalidated, right? So if I got into this trade over here based on the 4-hour candle close, knowing full well that this daily level is what I'm taking the trade off, then as soon as I got this candle close over here, it means that my daily was not respected. I'd be out of my trade. And what happens right after? We go back down to our next level. And again, in yesterday's video, we talked about how Chainlink may come down to this level over here at around $15.50, put in a higher low. In fact, I was expecting it to literally bounce right off this, but it came and dipped a little bit lower, giving people a nice buy opportunity. And again, guys, right, if you watched only the price action, okay, and I was watching it over here, it dipped so deep underneath the level. But what does it do? It closes above it, which is why I like waiting for candle closes on the time frame that I drew my level on. This horizontal here, the white horizontal, we drew this on the 4-hour time frame, right? This orange horizontal over here, we drew it on the daily. So I'll play both accordingly, which, by the way, guys, is why I try to color code my horizontals to the best of my ability. Quick tip for you guys, you can either color code it or simply double click on your horizontal like this. Oops, messed up. Okay, and you can write something like this, right? 4-hour. I'll show up right over there. So that way you know, and you're visually and mentally prepared for when the price comes down to your level, you know, hey, you know what, this is a 4-hour level and price is living underneath this level only on the 1-hour time frame, right? Only on the 1-hour time frame. Let me did it actually even lose it on the 1 hour? Even the 1 hour defended it, right? So let's say price closed underneath here on the 1 hour. That wouldn't be enough for me to get out of my trade. I'd be waiting for the 4 hour unless I specifically told myself before the trade that, hey, if we even close a 1 hour underneath this, I'm out of my trade, right? But you need to specifically say it and write it down. You can't be making up new freaking rules for yourself once the trade has taken place. Okay, you can't do that because that's a recipe for long-term failure. Okay, so that's Link, guys. We didn't really talk about targets. We really just talked about Link as a done. Again, it's really if this then that. If we lose this horizontal over here, we're going down to the next level, $13.90. If we break the zone over here, I think that we're not only going to make it back up to $20, but I think we're going to go eventually all the way to $30, right? Not in a straight line, but eventually. So if this, then that. Also, watch Bitcoin while Chainlink is doing its thing, because depending on whether you're collecting Link or Bitcoin, it's going to matter. So again, guys, if you're looking for a more higher time frame analysis on what I'm looking for Link, all the way down to targets, perhaps all the way to $6, $8, right? We have all these horizontals marked out. I'm not saying Chainlink is going to get there, but we never know what may happen in the market. And at the Mango community, we are always playing if this, then that. So that way we are prepared and we get clues from the market at each and every step, right? So if Chainlink takes out these levels over here, hey, we know what to look for next. We know how to manage our risk accordingly. My name is Shawn Dexter. I hope you guys enjoy this video. I'm going to go ahead and get back to my movie. I'm actually watching Harry Potter for nostalgic reasons. Prisoner of Azkaban. I do remember when I was still in high school having the novel, the book on my lap, pretending to be taking notes in class while I was actually reading that beautiful, beautiful story. Anyways, I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video. Ciao.